guys? What's happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Rocco Unfiltered. So obviously it is the first NFL Sunday of the season, guys, and it was a spectacular Sunday for us Dallas Cowboy fans. Yes, guys, obviously the Cowboys have had a great week one of the NFL season, defeating the Cleveland Browns 33-17, and in spectacular, dominant fashion. The Cowboys played a great game to start the season. Now, obviously, before we talk about the game a little bit, the biggest news of the day was obviously Dallas's franchise quarterback, Dak Prescott, finally getting the big bag that he has been waiting for the entire offseason. Adam Schefter had reported it this morning that the Cowboys and Dak had agreed to a 4-year deal worth $240 million, $60 million annually per year, guys. Is absolutely insane money to be paying Dak Prescott, especially since he's had a 2-5 playoff record. Obviously not the best playoff record, but when you see guys like Tua Tagovailoa, Trevor Lawrence making $55 million on their next deals, obviously Dak Prescott had all the leverage in his next contract, obviously knowing he was going to make $60 million, whether being in Dallas or somewhere else. Jerry Jones knew he was going to have to either pay Dak or possibly start a rebuild, losing his starting quarterback. But we know Jerry Jones, guys. He likes to play these mind games. And no way in hell was Jerry Jones going to be rebuilding in these last years of his life, watching the Cowboys deteriorate. We all knew that Jerry was going to end up paying Dak. It took a little longer than expected, of course. Freaking week one, for God's sakes, obviously, making everybody sweat. But now one of the biggest topics going into the NFL season is no more, because Dak has now been paid and the Cowboys can now focus on the season ahead. Now, let's talk about the game a little bit, of course, and how Dak performed, obviously. I thought Dak played well. You know, he didn't do anything crazy. He controlled the game, didn't make mistakes. But I loved the first touchdown of the game, obviously. I thought it was a spectacular throw by Dak. Look at Dak, man. He's about to be pressured by the Browns defender, and he makes a spectacular throw. And Brandon Cooks doesn't even break yet. He's not even done his route. But Dak knows Cooks is going to be there. He makes that spectacular back foot throw right to Brandon Cooks, making a spectacular throw, and Cooks being there wide open. It must have been a blown coverage by the Browns. And Cooks gets the first touchdown of the NFL season for the Cowboys, starting off 7-0. And guys, I'm telling you, man, what a display by this Dallas Cowboys defense. My God, they did not let Deshaun Watson do anything. First drive of the game, 3-and-out for the Browns. Nothing crazy happened for them. Okay, Dallas's defense was just all over them. Okay, from the start of the game to the end of the game. It was incredible to see. Micah Parsons, spectacular. 9 pressures today, 1 sack. Incredible statistics for him. Eric Kendricks, debut for him, turning down the San Francisco 49ers to come play for his former coach and Mike Zimmer in his defense. Kendricks again, with why showing coming to Dallas was so vital for him. Instead of going to the 49ers, he has a spectacular debut with 2 sacks, an interception, and 6 tackles. Kendricks is going to be massive for the Cowboys down the stretch this year, guys. We're going to really need him. DeMarcus Lawrence, 2 sacks as well, 4 tackles. D-Law showed why he's one of the best in his position. We're going to really need him this year. Mike Zimmer's defense, guys, if they play like this, the Cowboys are going to have one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. Cleveland obviously having the best defense last year, of course, and having the reigning Defensive Player of the Year in Myles Garrett. And speaking of Myles Garrett, big round of applause for Tyler Guyton, guys. The rookie left tackle doing everything possible to stop Myles Garrett, and he did a spectacular job today. Garrett only getting 1 sack today, which is normal for a guy of his stature, of course. But Guyton holding him down today was spectacular. You got to give the rookie a lot of credit today, of course. Yeah, also, guys, you got to give a lot of credit to the special teams. Guys like Kevontae Turpin, catching a punt return. Extending the Cowboys' lead, of course. You had Turpin doing his things. All right, you had Trayvon Diggs with that interception late in the game. Okay, everything went Dallas's way today, guys. It was just great to see. CeeDee Lamb made some great catches today. I thought the Cowboys' offense, obviously, at times, they didn't do much in the third quarter. They were just controlling the game. But it was all Dallas's defense today, like I've been saying, guys. Demarion Overshawn. You know, what a player this kid is, guys. It's like getting a new acquisition because Overshawn tore his ACL in training camp last year, so he didn't play all of last season, especially this one play where he's at the center of the field and he runs all the way to Deshaun Watson to get the sack. Very impressive game for Overshawn. Of course, the whole team was impressive, of course. It was just a dominant display by the Dallas Cowboys. I thought Zeke Elliott, you know, in his second stint with the Cowboys looked good. You know, especially in short field, guys, especially on the second touchdown for the Cowboys to make it 14-0. Zeke on short yardage situations is really going to help the Cowboys, and especially with this blocking. Of course, we all knew that Tony Pollard wasn't the best blocking running back last year, of course. That's why the Cowboys brought Zeke back, and Zeke did that quite a few times today, making some great blocks to help Dak extend plays and get some guys open enough to make the throw. And obviously, the biggest concern, guys, after this game today was what happened to Jake Ferguson, of course. He fell awkwardly, stepped awkwardly, hurt his knee, of course. But luckily enough, there were some reports after the game today that Jake Ferguson, he's going to be okay. He said that maybe it was hopefully it's just a sprain, if not just a bruise of some sorts. We'll have to wait and see. They're going to do an MRI on him tomorrow. So let's hope Jake Ferguson can get back because we really need him. And guys, another special shout out to Brandon Aubrey. Guys, I gotta tell you, this freaking guy, man, is the next best kicker in the league next to Justin Tucker. My God, man. He makes 57-yarders look like bloody chip shots, okay? He made a 66-yarder. Obviously, we saw it was called off because there was a flag on the Cowboys. But he made that cleanly with extra leg on top of it. He was even going to attempt a 71-yarder, but the Cowboys called the timeout and they pulled him off the field. But this guy here, guys, Brandon Aubrey, is the next best kicker in the NFL. Last year hitting 10 for 10 with 50-plus field goal yards. It was an incredible sight to see again that this kid here is once again one of the best kickers in the NFL. He's like Dan Bailey, guys. Every time Dan Bailey went on the field, I was calm. I'm like, okay, 3 points. I'm starting to feel this way about Brandon Aubrey. Okay, and obviously we've had these former kickers like Brett Maher. Well, after that disaster, what happened last year, a few years ago, with those missed field extra points, it was a disaster. Zerline, my God, we've had some disastrous kickers after Dan Bailey, but now we finally got ourselves a kicker that we know can kick it from anywhere in the field, especially maybe in an important game where you need the 3 points. You know you're going to have a guy like Brandon Aubrey taking these massive kicks when they matter most. But guys, I have to say, impressive win by my Dallas Cowboys going into Cleveland, who I didn't think the Cowboys were going to win this game, guys, because Cleveland obviously being one of the best teams in the league last year defensively, of course. I thought the Cowboys would have their struggles on the road because last year they did, obviously being 4-5 on the road last year. Not a good statistic for them, but they start off well this year, guys, on the road. Positive signs for the Cowboys all around, offensively, defensively. Obviously, giving up those 2 late touchdowns in the fourth quarter, they're going to want to get rid of those. They do not want to give those up, of course. But a positive game, guys, for the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott is paid now. He can just relax and play football now. CeeDee Lamb is paid. These guys can now just focus on football now. Micah Parsons is next. He's going to get paid. We know that. His time will come. But now, the topic of the Cowboys, are they going to pay Dak? What's going to happen at the end of the season? That's all over with now. The Cowboys can just focus on winning football games and finally hoping getting to an NFC Championship game for the first time in over 30 years, guys. But this is a step in the right direction. I do not want to get ahead of myself because this is what the Cowboys do. Stephen A. always says it, man. In September, October, November, December, the Cowboys are great. But in January, what can go wrong will go wrong. So let's just take a step back and enjoy this W. But I'm excited to see how the Cowboys do. Next week, they got the Saints. Okay, the Saints put up 47 on the Panthers. God, the Panthers are an absolute joke of a franchise, of course. The big test will be in a couple of weeks' time when we got to play the reigning MVP and the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. That's going to be a hell of a game in a few weeks' time. But we're going to focus on the Saints first. Hopefully the Cowboys can get a win there, guys. And hopefully Jake Ferguson is okay. But guys, that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Great win for the Dallas Cowboys, guys. How about them Cowboys, guys? Thank you guys for watching. Click like if you like this video. Subscribe if you guys want to see more content, guys. And remember, if you do not watch sports, you're more. Ciao, guys.